What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining me today for your daily dose of Star Wars. Today, I'm bringing you what I think is my best theory to date on this channel, and I'm super excited to share it with you. And it's why Luke left Rey on Jakku and why he wanted to be found. And all of this theory is grounded in a very small piece of canon. So sit back and let's get into it. I don't know how many of you already have this or are planning on getting this, but there is a new visual encyclopedia out about Star Wars, and one of the things that they go over in this is a section on navigation, and they have one for maps. The image from it is of R2 projecting the map to find Luke, and the description of this section reads, "The galaxy is an immense place, and accurate maps are vital when hyperspace jumps are required. Maps may be projected onto screens or rendered as three-dimensional interactive holographic projections. When Luke Skywalker goes into hiding, he gives Lor San Tekka a map fragment showing his destination." The last part is the most important part. When Luke Skywalker goes into hiding, he gives Lor San Tekka a map fragment showing his destination. We didn't see Lor San Tekka in The Force Awakens but for one scene, but in order for this to make sense, I think a little background on Lor San Tekka is required. So what I'm about to go over is from my Everything Luke Did After Return of the Jedi video, but in that video I told you that Lor San Tekka was aiding Luke in his search to find Jedi lore that Palpatine had either destroyed or was trying to hide from the days of the Empire. Lor San Tekka was an explorer, and that is one of the reasons why Luke chose him to help him out. Another reason is because Lor San Tekka didn't succumb to the Emperor's lies about the Jedi betraying the Old Republic, and this made him trustworthy to Luke. That's why Luke gave Lor San Tekka the piece of the map that showed his destination. Because he trusted him. Luke trusted Lor San Tekka. Here is where the speculation and theory portion kicks in. If Luke gave Lor San Tekka the piece of the map that was needed to find Luke and had his destination, then we can assume that Lor San Tekka was given instructions on what to do with this piece of the map by Luke. If Luke didn't want to be found at all, ever, at any point, then he wouldn't have given Lor San Tekka the piece of the map in the first place. What would be the point of disappearing if you're going to tell someone where you're going? Then you're not truly disappearing. I assume that it was more like a, "Hey, if you need me because something big's gonna go down, this is where I'll be." And here is where Rey comes in. Where was Lor San Tekka living? Jakku. Where was Rey living? Jakku. Coincidence? With Star Wars, it never is. We know Rey was left on Jakku thanks to her Force vision, and we know that she's believed that all the time she's been there, she's literally been counting the days since she first got there, and she's been living on her own because she assumes that any day now her family will come back for her, but they never do. Who else has been everyone waiting for to come back but never has? Luke. Ever since Kylo abandoned Luke and fell to the dark side, he's been after Luke, and he's also recovering pieces of the map trying to find Luke to help defeat his old master with the First Order. Kylo, as clearly demonstrated in The Force Awakens, doesn't have a good control on his temper, and with this being the case, it gives him the ability to be very spontaneous and to go off the rails at any moment. And this makes him extremely dangerous and an automatic threat to everyone around him, with him, or against him. Essentially, he's a loose cannon. Since Kylo abandoned Luke, I'm willing to have a bet that he has the same hatred for Luke that Anakin had for Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, and if this is the case, he would be willing to do whatever he had to do in order to draw Luke out of hiding, including capturing and killing his daughter, which is Rey. In A New Hope, Luke was left on Tatooine as a child, and Obi-Wan stayed on the sidelines and watched him, making sure he was safe as he was growing up. My theory is that before The Force Awakens, after Kylo betrayed Luke and started going after him, Luke left Rey on Jakku, which is a similar planet to Tatooine in the sense that there's nothing significant there, and Luke left Rey and let her grow up there while the whole time she was being watched over by Lor San Tekka, in the same way that Obi-Wan watched over Luke from a distance just close enough to know that she was safe. It's clear to me that Kylo Ren knows who Rey is in The Force Awakens, especially when he's letting his anger out, followed by the "what girl" line. And in the junior novelization of The Force Awakens, when he says, "It is you," to Rey during their fight in the snow. Again, to reiterate, there are never coincidences in Star Wars, and this makes perfect sense as to why Kylo knows who Rey is and makes those lines work in the movie. Even in my first viewing of The Force Awakens, from that "what girl" line, I believed that it was obvious that Kylo knew who Rey was. Lor San Tekka stayed on Jakku to watch over Rey for all these years to make sure she was safe, and to make sure that Kylo and the First Order couldn't get to her. There's no way that at this point there isn't one of you who has thought of the line that Rey says in The Force Awakens, "Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth." You're probably saying and shouting at your screen that this makes everything I'm saying irrelevant. Well, luckily, I can explain that with 2 words: memory rub, or memory wipe, whichever you prefer. The next question some of you are probably thinking and are probably screaming now is memory rubbing or memory wiping isn't canon. Well, if you're saying that, you are wrong. Memory wiping is canon. Memory wiping was used in the Clone Wars TV show, specifically in the Ghosts of Mortis episode, and what a great episode that was. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars TV show, here is a 3-second mild spoiler countdown, because what I'm about to go with next to help this theory comes from this episode. So 3, 2, 1. During the Ghosts of Mortis episode, the father used this memory wipe power to erase Anakin's memory when he saw that his future was to become Darth Vader after he learned that from the son to be tempting him to the dark side of the Force. After Anakin's memory is wiped, he says, "I don't remember." To which the father says, "I have erased that time. We shall never know." Mind wiping is canon, and this is another security measure that Luke used to protect Rey. He used the ability to wipe her memory to ensure that she would be safe and wouldn't have any information that could be used by her or by someone else against her own good. By wiping Rey's memory, she wouldn't try to leave Jakku and she would be safe. We know Luke is going to have powers that we haven't seen any other Jedi use, and my bet is that this is definitely going to be one of them. Luke will have erased Rey's knowledge of him in order to protect her and keep her safe, and to try and separate her from the trouble that seems to continue to loom over him and follow him. Having all of this fresh in your mind, cutting to the last scene in The Force Awakens, when Rey finds Luke and turns around, Rey didn't say anything to indicate that she was there. Luke wouldn't have heard her, yet he turned around. Why? He felt her presence, just as Darth Vader felt Obi-Wan's presence in A New Hope. They have such a strong bond that he knew she was there. Rey didn't know where to go either, and this is something a lot of people forget or don't even think about. Ahch-To isn't just that one island that Luke is on. Chewie, R2, and Rey pass a ton of islands on their way to the little island that Luke is on, and even more, when they get to the island Luke is on Ahch-To, Rey doesn't know he's at the very top of it. When we see Rey arriving to Ahch-To in the Falcon, we see her face and we see Chewie give her a look, and the look on Rey's face is kind of blank, and it's as if she's just going on autopilot, and the force and presence of Luke is just guiding her to where she needs to go, and she is successfully going there. Going back to the top of the island, after he turns around, he sees Rey, and I don't know how anyone can possibly deny the fact that he is getting teary-eyed and very emotional, and he has this look of disbelief and sorrow in his eyes, very visibly. You might be thinking, if it was his daughter, why wouldn't he be happy? Well, why would he be happy? He spent all of this effort and time trying to keep her safe and to keep her out of his problems in this huge mess, and now all of that work that he has done has gone to waste, and Rey is right back involved, being involved. And she's not even back in it. She's in it just as deep as Luke is in it now. That Kylo hates her too, and that Snoke is extremely aware of her. After Kylo admits that he couldn't defeat her, that she's strong with the Force, Rey is teary-eyed too, as if she remembers who Luke is, and all of these memories come rushing back to her. The next thing that someone is going to be thinking that goes against what I'm saying is, but what about the line where Luke says, "Who are you?" to Rey? I did a whole video explaining this misinterpretation. That line is from a teaser that was never shown to the public. It was only shown, I believe, at the Disney shareholders meeting. And the line wasn't said at the top of the mountain where we will pick up, top of the island where we will pick up The Last Jedi. But it was said in one of the huts that Luke was living on in Ahch-To. My explanation for this is Luke is asking Rey who she is, as in, does she remember that she's my daughter? Does she remember anything from before I memory wiped her? Luke is trying to gauge how much Rey knows and how much she actually remembers. So that is my theory on why Rey is Luke's daughter and why Luke left her on Jakku. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one. If you enjoyed the video or if it made you think, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. If you are a daily coffee drinker or want to get all of the videos just as they're uploaded, hit that bell down below to be among the first to know when a new video goes live. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep loving Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.